Hello and welcome, I'm Tafra Gadamoum. My guest today, Sheikh Salahuddin Wazir, an Islamic scholar, is keen on interfaith dialogue and such. And he joins me today to explore that and the dynamics within his own faith and beyond. Very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tafra, for inviting me many times, including this time here in Addis Ababa.
On Monday we celebrated Mawlid. It's one of the significant holidays in the Islamic faith, correct?
Yes. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Mawlid is rewardable. Mawlid is peace. Mawlid is recitation of the Quran. Mawlid is chanting, praising the Prophet. Mawlid is feeding the poor. Mawlid is reading the biography of our beloved and honorable Prophet, his life, alayhi abdullah, his family life, his imamship, his comprehensive life would be reviewed. And his legacy is very much alive across the world. And in Ethiopia, thanks to the previous government of Mengistu, we appreciated the long outcry and grievances requested by the Ethiopian Muslims, where, among other things, was request to recognize the Mawlid nationally in Ethiopia. Rightly so, the government recognizes the Eid, the two Eids, and the Mawlid as a national holiday. This is good. This government of Ethiopia also is as recognizing the need of the Muslims, millions of Muslims need vis-a-vis the Islamic Bank was officially accepted. The Ethiopian High Islamic Council officially recognized as an NGO used to renew the license every year, because I worked and represented this organization in diaspora for many years as a director. So I knew. So this government recognized, so we don't have to renew the license anymore, although I'm not associated now with the Ethiopian High Islamic Council, but I know the process and the grievances of Muslims. We still have a lot of other issues. Those are working in progress. So in general, Mawlid is so unique in Ethiopia as well. If I give you a few examples, it is not started like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You're talking about close to 1,000 years. And I'll give you the map regionally in Ethiopia, starting from Najashi. In Najashi, millions of Ethiopian Muslims celebrating the Mawlid. Not only Ethiopians, the Eritreans coming to Najashi, the Sudanese coming to Najashi, the Yemenis coming to Najashi, the Djiboutis, the Somalis coming to Najashi. And this is something to really popularize, so it brings ties with the Tanzanian Muslims, with the Kenyan Muslims, the other region coming to celebrate. Even the Arabs who are far away coming, because Najashi is highly iconic and recognized in Islamic faith. And it's our heart broken during the war that beautiful mosque was demolished by any standard that is unacceptable.
It wasn't demolished, but it was
attacked.
Yeah.
Attacked. Whatever was the motive, whoever that was responsible, we outrightly reject and condemn. This is red line, is unacceptable. Yet we did not magnify it to the outside world. We kept it ourselves. And the Minister of Culture assured us to renovate it, and I will be getting an update soon to make sure it is completely renovated. It is important, holy place for us as Muslims now, because it has the body of the companion of the Prophet over there. Also, in Dangila, in Amara region, widely celebrated Mawlid for hundreds of years. In Oromia, in Bali, for 100 years of being celebrated the Mawlid. Giving you example, in Harar, over 1,000 years Mawlid been celebrated, and I'll give you how it has been celebrated. The Harari month itself, like in Amharic there is Gumbot, Tasas, Yekatit, and September, October. For the Hararis, we have our own unique calendar. Rabi'ul Awwal is the first Mawlid. Rabi'ul Thani is the second Mawlid. Jumadul Awwal is the third Mawlid. Jumadul Thani is the fourth Mawlid. 4 months consecutively been celebrated every year, in particular during the month of the birth of the Prophet. Why? Because the villagers who are at different places, because over in Harar there are hundreds of shrine places that are commemorating the Mawlid, might not have enough in 1 month to fulfill and bring everybody together. So different shrines celebrating, but they conclude the last one at Sheikh Abadr, the founder of Harar. And it's very beautiful and need to be registered in World Heritage, because this is a very iconic, beautiful, peaceful event that teach nothing but love, respect, tolerance, food, serving poor, crying with the needy, those who are dismantled because of war or destitute with need, and we offer help.
Right. It's interesting that you raise the history of Islam in Ethiopia per se, and how different regions, various regions have adopted Islam in Ethiopia. But is that what it is now within the Islamic phase in Ethiopia?
Well, we have come a long way. We have our days.
There are still divisions, right?
Yeah, everywhere there is a division. Differences exist even at the time of the Prophet, and subsides with the teaching as the information outreach to the communities. The same thing happened to Ethiopia. There was a point in time where we were seriously in confrontation, and that confrontation eased down. The teaching is spread, the maturity is gained, and the tolerance is developing. But it is not eliminated totally altogether. There are still certain radical elements within the Christianity, within the Islamic faith. So that also needs to be properly addressed and taught the people to get along well, to avoid unnecessary glitches and confrontation.
And the Grand Mufti said he's going to come out public very soon. What does, in his speech, the Mawlid event here in Addis Ababa?
I was present.
What is that?
I was present, and I clearly and loudly heard his outcry. He is deeply, deeply, deeply frustrated. He is burned out.
By what?
By the radical element that are, the new setup with so-called Salafis and Sunni sharing power, the president being the Sufis, the vice president being from the Salafis, and mix it up. This is not a political game. This is religious faith. From day one, when they had that setup, I had an interview I made publicly, and I said, this is wrong marriage. It's not going to work. And I said to the interviewer at the time, I said to him, do you unite the Ethiopian Orthodox and Catholic? He said, no. Do you unite Ethiopian Orthodox and Protestant? He said, no. He said, similarly, we have fundamental, serious differences within the Sunni Sufis and so-called Salafis. It is incompatible. So what it is a solution. In the U.S., there are 3,500 different religions. No religion or other religion collide. Everybody go by the book. Here need to be the following, moving forward. If the Salaf is so passionate and so dearly want power, they can establish their own majlis. They will have freedom with their own followers, whoever follow them. They can have their own mosque, if they choose to, who are their followers. But coming to the majority of the Muslims and instigating problems and provoking and generating frustration to the Mufti and to the majority silent, to awaken them up and causing those kind of unintended confrontation is not productive.
But it seemed like the followers of the Islamic faith in Ethiopia, Muslims in Ethiopia, are in much better shape than they were years back when there was all this conflict within that faith.
Well,
at least on the surface of it?
Every Muslim had the right of life, liberty, work, freedom. This is God-given right. It's not one government give that right and the other government succeed. We don't accept it. It is not a favor from the government or from any entity give this kind of right and take that right. That right need to be respected. The states say the Constitution, separation of faith and politics, then mean it in action. Now, does that mean the government help is not needed by religious institutions? We do need their help. When we need the traffic, when we have an event, when we have things, we do need the help of the government to bring law and order. Now, within ourselves, we the Muslims also need to have our own discipline and right and tolerance. If we have issues of common concern, we need to come to the table and discuss what is our concern. What is your issues? I love Mawlid. You don't? Okay. I love to read to those who died Muslim recitation of the Quran. You consider not. Okay. If you don't want to do it, that's just your issue. That's your problem. I'm not going to force you, but you have no right to come to those who are celebrating the Mawlid and to, flag them and say, you are blasphemer, you are this. Who gave you that authority? Who gave you the license to heaven?
So why is it difficult to chart out a way, to design a way out of this?
Well, there is always design out. We communicate, we talk to their, to their mind, to their conscience, to come with some sensible agreement. Sometimes, you agree to disagree. We are not going to follow your step. That's very obvious. We cannot compromise on our way. It's our core belief. It's our faith. There's nothing to compromise. So what do you have to do? You have to recognize the differences and live side by side in peace and respect.
How about this interfaith dialogue that has been the case in the years past? Is it continuing? I'm talking about different religions in this country.
In Ethiopia, it's a very diverse country. You have a very diverse religious also communities across the country. In Orthodox, they have their own problem within Orthodox. In Christianity, there are some problems between Orthodox and Protestant and alike. We don't want to magnify their problems. It has nothing to do with the Muslim primarily. As we are dealing with our own issues, they need to deal with their own issues. Now, with the Christianity in general and Muslims in general, the coexistence is very iconic and role model for many countries to look and learn. But having said that, there are also some extreme elements from both sides who are like to provoke and instigate problems. And you remember you had me in your show with Mota and problem burning the mosques and burning the church. Those are counterproductive. That doesn't take us nowhere. Now, if you look at the role model examples, when at the time of Eid, all the road in Addis Ababa and elsewhere is closed. Millions of Christian, Ethiopian, peacefully, patiently waiting for the Ethiopian Muslims to finish their prayer. National Square is closed in many streets. For those 3 hours, I never seen no Christian holding his horn and screaming, why are you closing? Why? The patient. The same thing with the Christian have their Christmas when they celebrate. The Ethiopian Muslims, when the road is closed, the Ethiopian Muslim in their turn, wait, no problem. Every Friday, if you go to Mercato, the street is closed. No way you can go. To the credit of the city government, in fact, there is a police to enforce. Without the police, even no car even coming. By default is known. Not 1 year, not 10 years, it's going, even at the time of Haile Selassie, when I was young, that was the norm. That is a very beautiful.
So you come and teach here, right?
I do.
So these are the issues that you raise. I mean, reconciliation, not only within your faith, but also among different denominations across the board, Muslims, Christians, and so on. Is that what you do?
Yes. Well, to our teaching,
not only in
around the world, actually.
In Ethiopia, but also primarily in the U.S. And in Ethiopia, you do it periodically.
Yes.
Is that making any difference in the way
it does.
In the way believers, in the way Muslims and Christians look at each other?
It does, and I'll tell you why. The core message is taken from the Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, ayah number 13. It says, Ya ayyuhan nas, all mankind. God is sending us a message in the Quran. Inna khalaqnakum min dhakari wa untha. Allah said, we have created you from the source of one, Prophet Adam and his wife Eve. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. God takes the ownership and He said, I have made you nationalities and tribe. And then we say this. Oromo did not choose to be an Oromo. Tigray did not choose to be Tigrinya. Amhara did not choose to be an Amhara. Somalis, Hararis, Bichangol, Arab, black, white. They did not choose to be who they are. We say, what is your problem? Why do you have a problem with Oromos? Why do you hate the Amharas? Why do you hate the Tigrays? Why do you hate the Arabs? Why do you hate the white? Why do you hate the blacks? You did not meet them. You cannot eradicate them. You have to recognize that they're God-given right to exist. Don't abuse them. Don't kill them. Don't mistreat them. Treat them the way you like to be treated, period.
So you basically talk to leaders in the faiths. So do they listen? Is that making any difference at all?
Look at Dr. Farra. I'm not only teaching to the faith leaders, even political leaders. I have trained with my colleague from the U.S. came in a peace-building mission. The government and the officials of the Harari government, the Somali government, the Dredo city government, as a pilot project, we tried to apply it in Addis Ababa. We will try to apply it to Tigray. We will try to apply it to Afar, Somali, Amhara, all over the country as a peaceful coexistence. We bring an example of Houthi versus in what happened in Rwanda. We bring the examples of what happened, the civil war in Bosnia that are devastated that country. We bring to the leaders the video clips, the reason of those fights and the outcome of those fights. At the end, they will come to the negotiation table to solve all those problems. So do we have to go through the same walk, burn as the fire, and then come to the negotiation after millions of deaths, millions of destruction? What good will come out of war? Nothing. Peace is better than war. Cooperation is better than confrontation. Love outweighs the hate. Resource is much better than destruction. When we are united, our country will be flourishing and grow. I'll give you history example and lesson to those who does not will good for Ethiopia. Learn from Mussolini. Mussolini of Italy killed our own Ethiopians in a broad daylight. Over 30,000 bombarded them, wiped them, killed them. Those crying Ethiopian, God listened to their prayers. What happened to Mussolini? In his own country, in Rome, was hanged to death. Don't mess with Ethiopia. Now, when Mussolini with his army attacked Ethiopia, one pious scholar and pious woman in Musuwa, her name is Sittina Alawiya, she talked to this general without fear, even though she was a woman. She told him, don't mess with my country. You will be humiliated and you will be defeated and kicked out from Ethiopia in 5 years. I give you the permission 5 years to fix the road, to build. After 5 years, it expires, you be kicked out. The General Graziani, this is well documented even in the library in Rome. Graziani brought a ship that was pregnant. He said, tell me what is in this that you're predicting that's going to happen, prophesied in the future. She told him, she carry a boy and girl, don't be abusive. And the Graziani, he killed that goat or sheep and looked at it. He documented, he saw exactly what is in that goat. Ethiopian Muslims gave their life for Ethiopia. Ethiopian Muslims gave their blood for Ethiopia. Ethiopian Muslims gave their wealth for Ethiopia. Yet, post-war, mistreated by some Ethiopians. That is unacceptable. So, Ethiopian Muslims' rights need to be respected. All Ethiopian Muslims need to be respected. I traveled from here to Harar. I'll give you one example.
Yeah, I mean, when you travel across the country to do what you normally do when you come here, that is, connect with your own people. I mean, not only Muslims, but also Christians and so on.
Yes.
So you undertake these kinds of conversations. It's not something that you do only once. You've done it several times, and you will continue to do so. So do you, at the end of the day, see any change of your intervention?
Yes.
As a result of your intervention?
Change, specifically of change, President Obama, his election theme, he said he used a change. Actually, it has, for Muslims, we have a core belief in the Quranic verse. It says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ, which means a group of nation or group of individual or single individual, he will not test the change unless he change himself. So our core message is, we say, change of the mindset, the frame. Change of the mindset from hate to love, from confrontation to cooperation. Change that mindset, the outlook. If you have input, you have output positive. Do we start to see the output piece? Yes. You see now in the Harar region, at one point there was so much tension. You don't see it now. In Somali regions there was so much tension. You don't see it now. In the Redwa there was so much ethnic and religious fight. You don't see it. We form an NGO for this organization. In the Redwa we form a peace-building organization. In Harar we established peace-building organization. In Jijiga we build peace-building organization. They have their own leadership. They have their own registered by the government, licensed by the government, working for peace. So we want that example to spread throughout the country in Ethiopia so that the whole Ethiopian live in peace and harmony like we used to.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure having you on my show. It is a pleasure having you on my show, Sheikh Salahuddin. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.